DIY electric snow vehicle, episode 3. So I go in to the local discount store where they have discount goods and items, merchandise and what have yous, and so I pick up a sled, and I says, "Lady, sell me this sled for $12.99." And this lady looked at me and she goes, "It's not gonna snow anymore." And I said, "Listen," I said, "you sell me this sled for $12.99 before I slap your dentures across aisle 3. We are going to get absolutely bombarded with snow yet this year, and I am going to sail across said snow on this handcrafted deluxe electric snow vehicle. Dual motor, dual tracks, air suspension." Now, where we left off on this thing, I'll be damned if I could tell you. But where I'll tell you what we're going to do now is we're going to pick right up and get some stuff done on it today. What you can't see is on the back side of this door, I have a life-size poster of a naked lady. Am I lying to you? You'll never know. Check it out. Finally arrived. This thing was almost a week late in the mail. But we have the other control module I ordered. And see that? Dun, 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 dun. Do you see that we have the extra black wire on this one? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug carefully the control module that was rotating its motor slowly. Only one of these two control modules is spinning the tracks at full capacity, and it's the one with the extra black wire. The other one is spinning the tracks, but I mean, they're barely rotating, and you can actually stop them by hand. There's so little power being applied to them. We were originally powering the setup with two of these, which are the HD M18 Red Lithium HD 12.0s. But check this out. Look what came also in the mail. Bam! I picked up two of these M18 Red Lithium Forge 12.0s, which claim to have 50% more power. If you see this here, it says it has 50% more power than this thing. I picked these up for a song, so we'll put in this new one. And this one, I ordered this off eBay. In the eBay image, they show you like a generic product sticker on the edge, and it just says like electric bicycle controller or some crap like that. This one actually is labeled Razor. It's got a build date on it, and the build date is 2024 6/18. It's going to be nice because if my theory works and this box with the extra black wire does what we need it to do, it's essentially going to immediately double our horsepower, which is really all man can truly want in life, right? Twice the power. Yeah! Oh, she's cranking, guys. She is cranking. All right, so that was a major score for $30 there. Looks like I got about a minute and 40 seconds left on my potato wedges, using a Wise camera to watch the air fryer, because that's how I roll. I have a Rip It energy drink in hand, tribute flavor, cherry lime. I've got a Builder's protein bar from my buddy Cliff, and I got a couple of cherry frosted Pop-Tarts straight out the pouch. And I am fired up. And you want to know why? It's because it is snowing outside. And I'll tell you something. When we started the day, it was like 50 degrees out and pouring rain. It is now down in the low 30s. And it is snowing. And there is accumulation, folks. This could potentially be the last snowfall with any accumulation of the season. Now, I don't want to be pessimistic. Of course, I want more snow so we can finish the snow vehicle and ride it. But we also have to be real. If this is the last snow, this might be our only opportunity to test this thing. So, are you with me? Am I with you? Can we finish this goddamn thing tonight and crank it across the frozen tundra at least one time just try to scoot it across the frozen tundra. Didn't read the instructions, don't care. Plug in there. All I know is this is the hottest one they make, and unfortunately this is not the cheapest one they make. Guarantee it. Alright, so now we got both our batteries charging, that's good. Simultaneous charging. Ripping through the snow at 30 miles an hour. Are there elements that we should probably put on the snow vehicle before we try to ride it in the dark, such as the headlight? Perhaps. Perhaps we should put the headlight on. Now, we got to be smart about how we combobulate this together. I'm working on this thing tonight until it's rideable. Basically what I'm looking to do here is just kind of twist these into this box, and then we'll throw a couple zip ties on them to hopefully kind of hold them together. But none of this has to be pretty or fancy or any of that. Did I shut that hot glue gun off? Yes. Okay. So, what in the Wild West is happening here? Get in there. I mean, I could put nuts on them, but then it's not springing around. Yeah, that's basically, there's so much wiring in that box that it's pushing the seat out, but I don't care. So, what do you guys think? What are the odds? 30 mile an hour? Probably not tonight, I would say. I mean, surely there's going to be some kinks to work out of this thing, right? I mean, am I going to set this thing down in the snow in an hour or two and literally hit 30 on it? All right. So hopefully that was the nut that I just said I lost. It was. Cool. So we got all 4 nuts on there. Can't beat that. You know, I've never actually even tried to sit in this chair. It looks a little dainty for a man of my size. Now, I know how the winters and springs and all that work around here. And it'll seem like it's going to be spring. People will be like, oh, cool, let's get out the convertibles and the motorcycles and the boats and shit. And they'll be out there polishing their jet skis and shit like that. And all of a sudden it will absolutely unleash and bombard snow. And we'll get like 2.5 feet of giving old ladies lifts to the laundromat and all sorts of fun stuff. And everyone else is going to be snowed in. They don't have a snow vehicle. So this isn't a real high-tech system here. It's basically just some Allen-headed bolts that pilfered from some other unwanted children's vehicle. This is a big children's vehicle. I am that big children. And now before I really snugglate that up, I just want to make sure that we don't have any more room to go up. I want the batteries to be as far away from the chains as possible, just for a little cheap reassurance. I'm more of a short dude, and I don't need this thing to be up in my tits, you know what I mean? And we're doing it now. Snow vehicle, yeah. Protein bar. 2 springs on the back. Gotta rig up the headlight real quick, and I'm just gonna I was thinking about it, and I'm gonna try to find the rubber clamps that came with it, which I just found here. I'm literally gonna strap that headlight unit to the front. It doesn't need to have an LED bulb in it for now. It just needs to have a light. And I'm gonna hog tie it, hot glue it, and we're gonna sail it. I don't know if you guys can see me over here. This is a Pittsburgh welding clamp. The absolute cheapest one you can get, I guarantee it. Now, unfortunately, a good portion of the nearby frozen tundra belongs to a farmer. And it's possible that he might get angry that we're in his field. I wonder if the refrigerant in this mini split unit thingy here is explosive. Maybe we shouldn't weld next to it. I've also got my fireworks. I don't know if you guys can see next to that stool I have the headlight and stuff sitting on. There's a big bag of fireworks sitting over there. Maybe I should shield that. You know, we don't have time for that kind of... Is that fine? We'll make it work. We can make it work. Certainly aren't getting that off of there, I'll tell you that. It's on there good. What I like to do is fight with something for a good 10 minutes and then turn the camera on. Just to show you what a bumbling idiot I am. I mean, what is the trick to this? You put some soap on it or Vaseline or something? I mean, Jesus Christ. Some kind of lubricant? It's like it will not go through there. And this thing keeps flipping over and hitting me in the thumb, and it's really starting me off. The other one was equally as difficult, and I pretty well wore myself out on that one. Now this doing the same shit that I don't want. But this other one I ended up finally poking through with the pliers. That's what I was trying to do when I turned the cam back on, and it wasn't working on this. I just want to blow this. I want to blow this hole out. That's one of my favorite things. Just blow the meaty side out so we're not compromising the strength of the hole, you see. At least not too much. But we can do that. But anyway, we're going to run those. And, you know, we're not doing the top speed test today. Depending on how quickly I can get this goddamn rubber thing in here. I wanted to get this to where I could pop it on real quick and do a little wiring and get some digital readouts and shit on this thing. Come on! Chinese garbage. Oh, fuck. This is pissing me off bad. Come the miserable. Oh, it just popped out. I just almost chipped my tooth. I was pulling on that thing so hard, guys. What could the trick possibly be? It only goes in one way. What do you twist it around like, I don't know, twist it in like a corkscrew? Hey, that almost seems like it might be working. So yeah, so that's the trick to that, guys, is you twist it in like a monkey 18,000 times, and it goes right in. Toodaloo, toodaloo. Did I say I needed a couple pieces of spare wire, or was that fantasy? Where'd that fucking brown wire go? Gone. Alright, so did I clip the wrong wire? Nope, we're good. Negatron, Nobatomi. Those aren't wire cutters. These are wire cutters. Roughly. Harbor Freight. Cheapest ones they make. Guarantee it. Let's see what we get. Let's shield our eyes. So far nothing's blowing up. We got some red lights on the USB thing. That's good. Let's see if we get a headlight. Yeah, headlight we got. Now the only thing I don't like about using M12 for the electronics on the front, the M12 batteries do not have the thing where you can push a button to see the battery level like the M18s do. So that is one advantage that the M18 system has. That's crazy. This whole thing is crazy. This whole project is crazy. I won't lie to you. I'm basically cleaning stuff out of the way. I got the nuts for the tracks in my pocket. I'm gonna slam those on there, and I'm riding this thing in my house slippers. You guys are coming with me. We're gonna hit 30 mile an hour. See these crown nuts, boys and girls? These crown nuts are what hold these tracks onto this MF vehicle. And this is the last thing we need to do before we crank across the frozen tundra for the very first time. That seems a little better. Red Lithium Forge HD 12.1 going in on bank 1. I don't know how I get to that one. I'm sure that one works just fine still. There's supposedly extremely rugged. It does suck to drop it the moment you pull it off the first charge. Now for some reason the chain on this side is hitting the battery. It was doing that before. I don't know what we need to do to remedy that. For now it's going to have to be a little spacer under the seat or something. Which reminds me, we never did bolt that back seat down. But there's no time for that right now. It's got 2 bolts in it to hold it. Now if those wiggle out of there, we might be in trouble. But anyways, let's turn our systems on. 1 and 2. Both are working. Alright guys, I'm going to go around, get my coat. Like I said, I probably will put on some boots because running this thing with just shoes or sandals on is probably stupid. And I'm going to pop the door, drag this thing out, and we're going to try it out. So I'll be right back. Son of a monkey. So this is where we're at. We're outside. This is the snowmobile, okay? Where's the headlight switch? There it is. Right there. Headlights are on. That's the light output. Let's get this thing fired up. Switch 1, switch 2. Let's sit on the snow vehicle for the first time ever. I've never sat in this seat. It is a little dainty. Oh, I think it just broke. Oh man. It is super dainty. And then I'm trying to put my feet over here. You can hear the seat cracking as we go. First throttle crack. Let's see what we got. Can we go anywhere? I hear something happening, but we're not moving. What's happening here? Throwing mud. I think I got the axle too high up is the thing, unfortunately. I mean, look, we were digging earth. There's definitely some torque there. What can we do here? Can we temporarily take the air shocker thing out? Perhaps. Come the fuck out of there. I just had that thing out of there. Put that back in. We might have to revise how we got the rear suspension set up. You know, I don't know. Let's try that. Let's try that. Oh. That was interesting. The headlight just went out. Still got speedometer. Darn. There it goes. Must have had the switch not quite bumped all the way. Alright, throttle crack test 2. Man, I feel it. It's like it's trying to get us going, guys. It's just not going. Now, one thing I noticed when I was dragging it out here is that the tracks wanted to flip a little bit. And so I want to try that again real quick. So when the track was flipped up, it was actually going. But so far, all we've really been able to do is churn up a little bit of gravel. So far, DIY snow vehicle is a total fail. I just sat down on it and one of the handles bent. Oh, the steering is awful feeling and really hard. Let's try to crack the throttle now. Oh, just felt like I got kicked in the back, but alright guys, unfortunately we gotta drag this thing back in the garage, do a little revising on it, but that's how it looks. I mean, you can't deny that it's really freaking cool looking. You know, are both sides of this thing on? Yeah, both sides are on. Is the switch popping out? No, it's just that cover. Well, let's see, I mean, can this thing even move itself under its own power without me on it? No, it can't. It looked like, yeah, see, this thing's all flopping around now. So we need to revise the rear suspension on this for sure. What's going on there? Did I kick the chain on both of them? Oh wow. So I think we might have threw the chain prematurely on one. But anyways, this thing definitely needs a lot more work, guys. I'm going to take it in. I appreciate your time. 0 mile per hour so far. DIY snow vehicle episode 3 isn't working out as we had hoped yet. Alright guys, crap. So we took it outside. It doesn't go anywhere. The chain popped off. I think one chain popped off right away, then the other one popped off. So a little disappointing. I think the ride height is a little high yet. I need to revise the rear suspension, maybe get a shorter air spring, or do away with the air spring altogether and just like have a solid axle that's lower. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. But you know, we definitely made some progress. We got a little bit of snow on the skis, guys. There's a little bit of snow on the deck, and there's a little bit of mud on the tracks. So we at least took it out there and tried, and that's all that a guy can do. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. I'm not done with this thing yet, so stay tuned and peace. Alright people, welcome back. DIY electric snow vehicle episode 3, Triple Houndstooth Media Productions. My name is Mark, I'm your host, and today on DIY electric snow vehicle episode 3, we're going to tell you about some wins and some losses and some battles and some failures. What I tried to do last time, we had gotten like an inch of snow out there, and I was like, this is probably the last time it's going to snow. I should get out there and put this snow vehicle together and test it out. So I tried to do just that, and I basically banged this thing into the configuration that you see it in now and put some batteries in it and drug it outside. Now, unfortunately, this thing didn't move a millimeter. Not with me on it, not under its own power, didn't move at all. Now, the problem goes all the way back to when I first mounted the rear axle. Remember when I was like, oh look, there's a little play on it and it can wiggle back and forth before it grabs. Well, that was the dumbest thing I had ever thought of, because all it did was sit there and all they were doing was scraping the top surface of the frozen earth. So what we got to do to make this work is we need to drop that rear axle down. And so if you see there's bolts, one here and one over there, we're going to take those bolts out. I'm going to drill new holes in this bracket that are down lower, like probably like a solid inch lower. And then we'll put those bolts through those lower holes. That's going to bring the height of our rear axle down overall. One thing that did happen is we threw both the chains during testing, so we got to get those back on, but that's pretty insignificant in that we basically have to remount the whole rear axle. And I guess what's going to make it easier right off the bat is to get these tracks out here. And you can see I didn't even tighten the nuts for the tracks down. I mean, it's on there hand tight. Left-hander. Whew. I've been feeling particularly worn down. It was me. Alright, so ride height reduced down to nothing. Alright, so I got those snugged up just enough so they don't fall off the snow vehicle. And now I think, yeah, see, that kind of changed our chain tension a little bit too. ton of slack in the chain because we move those things down an inch, which sucks. It's probably going to throw the chain now. So let's say we did that and then stretched over to there. What's wrong with that? Boy, oh boy. I think we might be cooking. We have two of that particular spring. Is that spring the same as this? Spring. Dingy, spring dingy. They appear to be the very same spring. Alright, so I need two bolts that are longer. Longer. Get the springs on here like I've been complaining about for weeks on end, but also what we can do is now, do we have adjustability there? It sure looks like we do. And put the washer or washer So I think what's going to have to happen is this is going to have to be a two-nut configuration now. So we'll get this down how we want. Let's get that jerked all the way back as far as it'll go, okay? As far as it'll go. Then we'll put the one nut on once we find it. Like I said, we're just going to put this one nut on real quick. Alright, so that shuffled that back quite a bit. Or did it? It did. Okay, just need to make sure we tighten that. God damn it. Tighten that down in that orientation where it's as far back as it can go, man. Alright, so that should have taken some of the slop out of that chain a little bit. Looks a little better. And then now that first nut is on there, we can bring this guy over. Put it on there. And then I would really like to get an additional nut on the bottom of that, preferably with a washer, but I don't know if beggars will be choosers on this or not. Yeah, if I can get that to lock on, I think we'll be in all right shape. So we got that spring, but see now, that spring is supposed to hold it down, and that doesn't seem to be what's happening here. So I don't know if that's actually going to do anything for us. Yeah, see, that ain't going to work. Well, don't be so pessimistic, because it should be pulling. Yeah, I think it is. Sure doesn't seem to have any fight to it. And I guess all we can do is try, right? Can't you see that I'm building this new vehicle? Okay, so now we need the one nut. This one probably have to go from the outside hole. Let's try it. Should work. Now, go on. Get on there. Okay, now once I tighten this nut, we'll have spring action on both sides. Okay, so neither of those springs are going anywhere. Yeah, but see, it just, I mean, it immediately just lifts up. Those springs almost feel like they're helping it lift up, which they probably are. Son of a bitch, so how can we get this thing to stay down? We need a spring in the back. These are super strong. Like these, you can't even stretch, they're so strong. Yeah, it's like breaking shit there. I mean, that's basically what I need, is something like that. Or even something that went like from here, from those bolts down to there. Held it like that. Why don't we make it like that? Actually get these to stretch just a little bit. time me, I could literally just do one of these. This is how I had the other springs installed, but this is a much stiffer spring. Of course you can't get that nut off there. Why would you be able to? Why would you think that you'd be able to? Is the real question. One thing I do know is it seems as if I could get this on there, this would certainly hold it. It's like the perfect storm of shit that don't go together right now. And it's really starting to piss me off. I'm hurt, I tell you, I'm hurt. I just need you to flick around and go in there. We're not using the right tool for the job. I'll lay my hair. There we go. See, like I said, so I get a big screwdriver after it. There. Now, that is no longer raising up on us anymore. Guaranteed. Cheapest one to make, guaranteed. Motherfucker. Alright, so for testing purposes, I think that'll be okay. Oh, just felt like I got kicked in the back.